Hey, welcome back to Practice Matters. We are in Module 3, and in this session, we're answering the question, how prepared is prepared? You know, so often you may hear things like, show up prepared for rehearsal, or show up prepared to services, or, learn your music, or practice, 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 over and over. You hear that, but the problem is that, you haven't really been given a clear picture of what prepared looks like and how prepared you should be. I can't just tell you practice for 45 minutes before rehearsal, because for some of you, that wouldn't be enough time to learn all your songs. But for the others of you, you learn songs really fast, and so that would be plenty of time. So rather than tell you the amount of time, I want to give you some clear markers for learning your songs. And to do that, we're going to be using this construct called the 4 stages of competency. I know, some of you just instantly went to sleep, but it's okay. It's not as boring as it sounds, I promise. It's actually a pretty simple concept that shows how we go from absolutely zero knowledge of something to mastery of it. So the 4 stages of competency look like this. The first one is unconscious incompetence. That is, I don't know what I don't know. In the context of learning a worship song, the tune isn't even on my radar yet. All right, the second stage is conscious incompetence. I know that I don't know. I see a new song on the schedule and I realize I need to learn it, so I begin learning it. Now, the third stage is conscious competence. I know it, but it requires some conscious effort to execute it. With worship songs, it means I've learned the new song, but I'm still focused on the mechanics of it. It's not yet natural. And then in the 4th stage, we have unconscious competence. That means I know it, and I'm not even thinking about it as I do it. It's second nature. I'm putting no conscious effort into it. It just flows out because I know it so well. So that's the 4 stages of competency. And I think that this can help us define what prepared looks like for both rehearsals and services. But, rather than use these tongue twister terms like conscious incompetence and stuff like that, I decided to make this concept a little easier to convey by using a number scale. So this is called practice by numbers. So let's go ahead and apply some numbers to it. On the continuum, we don't even worry about unconscious incompetence. So that's 0. So we effectively start at conscious incompetence. I know that I don't know it. So 1 and 2 are really about learning. And learning moves us from conscious incompetence to conscious competence. And then 3 and 4 are about knowing. At 3, I can play the song, but I'm still very dependent on the music. Around 4, I'm moving into knowing the song and being less dependent on the music. And in fact, memorization can take place here before we get to level 5 on the practice scale. I can have something memorized, but still be thinking about the mechanics of it. That is, I need to consciously recall the lyrics or the chord progression. So then we have level 5, which is mastery. It's unconscious competence. I've memorized a song and it just flows like Freebird from a Lynyrd Skynyrd cover band. It's where that muscle memory takes over. The song is just second nature. All right, think about it this way. Mastery is that place where you can be playing your instrument and singing the song and actually be thinking about where you'd like to eat lunch after church. So that's how well we know the music. Now, we don't want to be thinking about where we want to eat lunch while we're worshiping, but admit it, we've all done it. So let me sum these numbers up. 1 and 2 is the learning phase. It's where we're not competent yet. But we move from there into the knowing phase, or where we become competent at it. And so level 3 is really playing from the chart, and level 4 is really kind of playing it from your brain. And then level 5 is playing it from your heart. You've got it mastered. And so now with these numbers and this distinction between learning and knowing and mastery, we can set up some clear guidelines for us to follow. So remember, rehearsal is not the individual learning environment. It's supposed to be a relational learning time. So in rehearsal, we take the different parts of the songs that we already know as individual musicians and we put them together to create this musical whole. So you need to grasp your part of each song pretty well by the time rehearsal rolls around. Because of that, when you come to rehearsal, you want to have your songs at a minimum of level 3. So you've got the song down well enough to play it with the music in front of you. Any lower than that, and you're still focused on figuring out certain parts of the song. And you know what? And that's what robs the team of rehearsal time if you have to stop or the team has to stop to figure out individual parts. And sure, It happens to all of us. You know, all of us have come in unprepared, so we do have to have grace for each other, but we can be so much more effective if we have all of our parts down. So shoot to have your songs to a level 3 by the time rehearsal starts. Now, when it comes to playing our songs during the services, we want the freedom to worship and really engage the congregation. And we can't do that if we're just at a 3. So we want to be to at least a level 4. And at 4, we can play the song with little focus on the mechanics. A good portion of the song just flows out. And there might be a few little parts where we have to be a little more conscious of what we're playing there to be able to recall things. But here's the thing. It'd be great if we had every song mastered and it was at a level 5 before the service. That's ideal. We would then be able to focus solely on worshiping and how we're visually engaging the congregation with our platform presence and our expression. But really, oftentimes, we have new songs or we have songs we haven't played for a while. And so pushing to get a song to a level 5 could actually take a ton of your personal time. And we need to be practical here. Putting in all that work could really be counterproductive. The law of diminishing returns can kick in here because the difference between a strong 4 and a 5 is probably imperceptible to most of the people in our congregations. But the effort that it takes to move a song from known to mastery is pretty significant. So for most of us, we will reach mastery with most of our songs after preparing for them and playing them many times over and over several Sundays. And I'm sure you've already got some songs that you've done multiple times that you can pretty much play in your sleep, and those are level 5. And so all you need to do with those is just to run a quick review before rehearsals and Sundays to make sure the song is ready. And that's a good thing because then it'll give you extra time to spend on the songs that are still at a level 1 or 2. So I hope this practice by numbers concept helps you have a better grasp of how much personal preparation time you need to invest before rehearsals and worship services. Coming up in the next 2 modules, we're going to be diving into the practical techniques to practice more effective. In fact, I'll be showing you some tricks and some hacks to learn songs faster so you can reach level 3 and 4 and 5 more quickly. So have a great discussion time, and we'll see you in the next module.